Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Mr. Invincible, Vince Papale.
Thank you, everybody. How are you? Everybody feeling invincible today? Yeah, how was your golf tournament? Well, how great was it out there today? I mean, it was phenomenal. So thank you to everybody from Andrews Air Force Base and everybody involved, and thank you to Tom Cubitt, and I appreciate that, and everyone, and all the sponsors, everybody that pulled this thing together. I'm in total awe today. I'm looking around the room of a bunch of heroes and people that I respect so much. And I'm looking at those who served. And I want to right now, on behalf of the Papale family, on behalf of my wife Janet, and my son Vinny, and my daughter Gabriella, we're patriots. We believe in the American flag. We believe in USA, and we believe in you. And we thank you for your service. So for all you servicemen and women out here, thank you. Thank you so very much. Man, you know, my story, it's all about this dream. I dreamed that someday I would be a Philadelphia Eagle. And when you think about what we're about and what Travis was about and what Bren was about, and think about, I got to tell you about this air show that we just saw. I don't want to hear that was practice for this weekend's air show. That was there for the two guys that we're looking at that with the book and everything else, and Travis and Brendan. You know that was in their honor and in your honor for coming out here today and doing that. That was just quite a show, and it was phenomenal. I had goose pimples the whole time, and so proud to be an American. And you know, and that's what you are, and that's what the military is about, and that's what everyone here in this room's about. It's all about protecting that dream. And those that have fallen, and those that are gone and paid the ultimate sacrifice, they did that, keeping that dream alive. And I always say that they're the holders of the key, the gatekeepers of that dream, that big dream out there. And it's the American dream. And somehow, some way, it seems to be slipping away a little bit. And I really think it's incumbent on us to make sure that we keep that dream going. I wanted to play I wanted to play for the Eagles in the worst way. And Vince, you're too small. You come from this. You don't have the right pedigree. You don't have the right this. You don't have the right that. I don't know what your dream is, but I know what the dream of me and our family is that we have some sort of peace and that we have a future that's out there for us. And, my parents are the same. My dad came over from Italy, and he was a pig farmer, for crying out loud. He was 1 of 9, never got beyond the 8th grade. And my father and my mother, she was, her father was of English descent. He came over from Wales. And she was a great baseball player back in the day. And she was also 1 of 9, just like my wife Janet and my sister-in-law Barbara back there. And she never got beyond the 8th grade. And their dreams that they had were shattered because of the Great Depression and World War II. But eventually it all came together. They had some children. And as I'm growing up, and I've got this big dream that we all had and all our children have, I have this big dream. It was all that was shattered because I'm coming home from school one day, and I see an ambulance pull up in front of my house, and I see them taking this beautiful woman that was my mother away from me, that was a professional athlete, believe it or not, back in the 30s, thinking out of the box and playing pro ball and playing ball up and down the East Coast, and they're taking her away. And she had a nervous breakdown, and then she had another nervous breakdown. And before you know it, when I'm 13 or 14 years old, I'm looking to other people for help, because this dream that I had to spending a lifetime with the family and also going to where I wanted to go was completely shot. So what does that got to do with you, or have to do with you? Geez, I sound like a kid from South Philly. What's that got to do with you? So here's what it has to do with you. It's all about people making an impact in your life, right? People making an impact in your life. And think about the impact that you've made. And think about the impact that the fallen have made in our lives right now. And the person that had one of the greatest impacts in my life, and think about that person. Who's your hero? We have a lot of heroes in this room tonight. And we have a lot of people that you're talking about. My hero is my teacher, aside from the woman that I married. My hero is the guy that took me up and he said, Vinny, I see the dream and I'm going to help you. And I've heard it from the chaplain. I heard it from Ryan. I've heard it from so many people today that everybody's talking about this thing called opportunity. And all these people did, you're providing opportunities for people. That's what it's all about, providing opportunities for people. And then I got the shot, man. I had the opportunity of a lifetime to try out for the Philadelphia Eagles. And everybody's breaking my chops. I mean, you know, I'm 30 years old, didn't play college football. You know, I just didn't have the right resume, the right pedigree. And everybody's saying, you can't do it, Vinny. It'll never happen. It's because they're the dream killers. And who comes up to me in my life when I'm 30 years old again? My school teacher, one of you. Somebody made an impact on somebody, and he gives me this quote, and this quote is very simple. It says, happy are those who dream dreams and are willing to pay the price to make their dreams come true. Happy are those who dream dreams and are willing to pay the price to make their dreams come true. Oftentimes, though, right now, what's happening with people, they're thinking, oh, the dreams come free. They forget that the paying of the price thing, that there's a price tag with it. And something has to happen. But hey, listen, I was willing to pay the price. Many of you in the military and everybody around here was willing to pay the price. So I'm paying the ultimate price. And you know where I'm going with that. And then what happens, baby? I made the Eagles. That was pretty cool. I mean, that's the ultimate laugh, and that's like the hee-yah. And then getting that. And then they made a movie about it. Now, has anybody here had a movie made about them lately? Huh? Huh? You know, how about you, Robin? No? Let me tell you about it. Look at that guy. Is he? Stand up, Robin. Come on, man. Stand up. Stand up. Is it? Oh. Yeah, but the thing is, does he have a movie?
They didn't even let me be in the one that just came out, straight out of Compton.
You know, think about it when they make that movie about you. Who's going to play you? You know, I mean, who would play him? Will Smith, or you know, a young Will Smith? We'd have a Philly guy playing a guy from Pittsburgh, right? Oh my God, you know. So the movie comes out, and it was pretty wild. Anybody seen the movie Invincible, by the way? Yeah. Did you like it? Yeah, I loved it. I'm going to tell you what. And the thing I'm most proud about with the movie is the impact that it's made and given me an opportunity to talk to so many people about, you know, what it is to attain that dream. But it was pretty cool. And then, you know, we just found out it turned about 8. You're going to appreciate this because there's going to be a movie someday coming out about all the things that you're doing right now. This movie just turned about $800,000, $800 million, right? This little movie about this kid who's the son of a pig farmer. And every time I see it, I don't know if anybody's seen it more than once or twice. I've seen it 137 times, right? And every time I see the movie, I cry. I mean, that's so good. I get no residuals. That's why I cry. So when that movie's made, man, you make sure, Tom, you get that residual clause in there, all right? I'll be your attorney. I only want 25% of that, okay? So we got it all working. And by the way, Tom, I know you know Tom, but Tom Manion, I played golf with him today. What a gentleman. It was so much fun. And where's my man? Where's my man, Jim? You around here? So there he is, right there. Catfish, here he is. I love it. His name was Catfish, and they called my dad Kingfish. So as cool as it gets. Yeah, it is. And then, you know, when you think about the movie, you know, like who's going to play you in the movie? Now, anybody see Rudy? Yeah, right? Yeah, it was Rudy's a cool movie. And Rudy, you know, but Rudy and I are buddies, and I just messed around. Rudy had 10 years to put this deal together, right? And ours just sort of happened overnight. And I always kid Rudy. I said, dude, geez, oh man, you got to get somebody better than a hobbit to play you, for crying out loud, you know? So, you know, and I'm thinking, all right, who's going to be the guy that's going to play me? And I figured Hugh Jackman. You know, Hugh Jackman would, don't you think? I mean, he's pretty buffed, and I was pretty buff back in the day. I had a lot of hair. They called me a manzilla, you know. But you know, and all the guys in the neighborhood, they're saying, oh, you know, better good you would be Danny DeVito. So you know, but I didn't get Hugh Jackman, and all of a sudden I get this guy, Mark Wahlberg, right? And how cool is Mark Wahlberg? I mean, we love Mark. He did a great job, of course, with Lone Survivor. He actually told me, he said, Vinny, a couple years ago when he was filming a film in Philadelphia, and he said, Vinny, the toughest movie I thought I ever did was Invincible. until I did Lone Survivor, and I had 12 and 13 Navy SEALs on top of me the entire day just kicking my butt. He said that was a pretty tough movie for me to do. But he's a great guy, and you would love him. I had no idea who he was. So I called my buddy. Everybody has a buddy who knows something about movies, right? We all have these movie buffs. Yeah, you're smiling, right? And he's smiling, and you know, they know every line of every movie. Well, I have one of those guys, and I said, Rocco, I said, dude, I said, guess who's playing me in the movie? He said, who is it, Danny DeVito? And I said, no, I said, it's this guy named Mark Wahlberg. He said, oh, you're kidding me. You got Mark Wahlberg playing you? I said, you know who he is? He said, yeah, man, he's Dirk Diggler from Boogie Nights. So check this out. First time Janet meets Mark, she walks up and says, yo, Mark, you gonna wear the short shorts like they wore back in the 70s when Vince is playing? He said, oh, no frickin' way. She said, well, let me see, is it real or is it Memorex? I mean, I gotta get that coming from her. True, yeah, you can't make stuff up like that. And it did great, and we're really excited about it. And I'm real excited. Actually, the Pope's coming in town. That's really cool because my last name, Papale, if you drop off the E on papal, okay, so figure that out. And in the middle, my middle name is Francis. How about that? And my first name, Vincent, really means the victor. So I'm Victor Francis coming in with the Pope. And there's a little irony there, and Mark's coming in town, and we're actually having another red carpet of the movie on Friday night, so which is very, very exciting. I'm going to wrap this up with something pretty serious, and you know, I've been known to be a lot of things, and right now, I got it. Just one thing I forgot to tell you. I forgot to introduce some of the most important people in here, because everybody asks, you know, how true is the movie? Look, the movie wasn't a documentary. And they say, well, they always ask. We were at this really cool concert together. I don't know if anybody likes Luke Bryan, but we were at the Luke Bryan concert, and this one of his stage managers comes up and he says, hey, he looks at Janet, he says, hey, are you still a Giants fan? And she just looked at him. Now look at me. Do I look like I would marry a Giants fan, for crying out loud? Robin, you have to give me a lobotomy, you know? And they had, and my wife, Janet, was portrayed by the great Elizabeth Banks, which was, she was just so great in the movie Effie from Hunger Games, if you don't know. And Janet is in reality right in front of me. You met her, but I'm going to introduce her again. And she was a member of the USA World Gymnastics team, and also the head of the, and she was a head gymnastics coach at the University of Pennsylvania. So I'd like to introduce to you my daughter, my wife, Janet. So, and she was one of 9, and there were 9, I know, there were 9, I was one there, Janet, okay? She's in my teleprompter here, okay? I'm not Hillary Clinton, for crying out loud, I can do this. And my, sorry, I swore I wasn't gonna go political tonight. Damn, I can't believe I just did that. All right, thank you very much. Yeah, you like that, Ryan? And my sister-in-law, number 5, right back there. Barbie, or number 6? Number 6. All right, there's Barbara. That's our sister, Barbara. And also, I'm very proud to introduce to you my son's hero. And he's a 20-year veteran at the U.S. Navy, helo pilot. And that was my brother-in-law, Pete Wheeler. So, Pete, if you don't mind standing up right there. Come on, Pete, stand up. So, you know, here we are. This is a 2-minute drill, okay? And the word out there, you know, character does matter. Character does matter. And I played for the greatest coach in the world, and his name was Dick Vermeil, aside from my high school football coach. And he believed that the guys that he was going to bring in, it was all based on character and trust and the ability to just get the job done, and that's what he was all about. So character really does matter, and that tagline that you have is so very, very cool. And you know, if you're saying, you know, if not me, then who? And that's basically was my attitude when I came in and tried out for the Philadelphia Eagles. Why not me? Why not? You know, just because I didn't have the right resume, just because I didn't have the right pedigree, just because I didn't have I wasn't entitled, or I didn't have what people thought I should have, just because you got to do it. And here we are now, we're all mentors. We have an impact on people, and make sure that they understand that they could be the one. They could be the one that makes the difference. And there was a phrase that I saw out there, and it really impacted me today. A lot of things impacted me. This whole event, I'm just blown away by it. But the one that says that we honor the fallen by challenging the living. We honor the fallen by challenging the living. And my message in 2-minute drill to you on this one is really very, very simple. This is, we were talking about opportunity. And Vermeil had a great saying about opportunity. Opportunity is worth to a person exactly what they put into it. It's just very simple. So that's that part. And that's why we're here tonight, to create those opportunities and to bring out the potential in people that just sort of feel like they don't have anywhere to go. There's that greatness within them that's just dying to come out, and it's because of you, the volunteers, everybody who served, everyone that came together, the part of the foundation. It's all of us that help them bring that potential out. Vermeil said potential is the greatest waste out there. You go to Vince Lombardi, he said, it's something that ain't been done yet. And we got to come together, we have to come together and help do those things that haven't been done yet. And we also have to come together and give people out there a second chance. Those that just feel totally defeated because they might have lost someone, or they're just totally, they don't know where to go. You know, if you don't know where to go, Yogi Berra says, if you see a fork in the road, take it. You know, I mean, you just got to go with it. Aside from today and everything that happened today, I was extremely touched a few years ago. I have a good friend, Richard Brooks, who was playing in the golf tournament today, and he's in charge of the PVGO, Paralyzed Veterans Golf Organization, and they have a golf tournament. And Richard asked me if I would visit Walter Reed Hospital, and I went. And I have to tell you, it was one of the most amazing things that I've ever done. I was so nervous. I said, what can I can't, how can I wasn't in service. How am I going to go with these men and women? They've lost their limbs. They've lost their dreams have been shattered. How can I go in there and help them? I have to tell you, they made me and lifted me up like I was up on a cloud somewhere, and made me feel good, and were an inspiration to them. And an inspiration to me. So I was so psyched after it was done, and I'm jumping on the train, the Amtrak, to get back up to Philly, and I run into James Brown. We all know James Brown, the guy, this great guy that does pregame. You know, he does it now on TV. And I run into James Brown. He said, yo, Vinny, he says, man, you're all pumped up. He says, where you going? What are you doing? I said, James, you're not going to believe what just happened. I told him the experience. He said, write it down. Write it down. If you don't mind, I'm going to take a minute and write you my thoughts on the experience I had there. And it goes in tune with a whining professional athlete in Philadelphia, who, thank God he's no longer there, who was just whining about getting a second chance. So this is called, it's called A Second Chance, and I hope you'll hang in there with me to just take a minute. And this is what I wrote. They're called Wounded Warriors, and they will tug at your heartstrings like no one you have ever met. And they're my heroes, and they come in all sizes, shapes, sexes, races, and religions. These men and women are undrafted free agents, and they sign on to their team to protect the American dream, and were given no signing bonuses, no press conferences, and no guarantees. Their uniforms are worn with pride and are not adorned with corporate logos, just medals and stripes earned through blood and sweat, not entitlement. They don't second-guess their coaches, and they simply execute the play that they're asked to run. These warriors scoff at the arrogance of entitlement, holding to the truth that nobody ever drowned in sweat. You got to earn what you get. They risk their lives every day to make sure our dreams come true, and in the end, some of their dreams and a lot of their dreams were shattered. They're too looking for a second chance, not in the NFL, but in the game of life. And what team do they play for? Well, they play for the USA, of course, the most powerful and the best team on earth. They're members of the U.S. military, and I met these warriors on Monday in Washington, D.C. at Walter Reed Hospital. I went there to try to inspire them, and I came away inspired and blown away by courage with attitudes like I've never seen before. Along with lost dreams went lost teammates, lost limbs, organs, and memories. But what can never be taken away from these warriors is the heart that beats as loud and strongly as ever as they bust their ass every day to get back into the game of life. I had this award when we played football. It's called the Who's Nuts Award. We're going down on field and just kicking some serious butt. So what I did is I gave the Who's Nuts Award to the best special teams player of the week. Goes to all the wounded warriors that I met and showed me what it's really like to be invincible. The next time you're at the Link, and that's where the Eagles play, and they introduce a hometown hero to the crowd, stand on your seat and applaud like hell. Make sure the team at Walter Reed can hear you because they, too, deserve a standing ovation and a second chance. And that's what you're all about, giving second chances. You're all invincible. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.